let's get in to what the Navy knew. Because that came out today that and what a lot of people don't realize is, and it's secret stuff, but everybody knows it's there. The Navy has basically microphones all over the sea bottom. Nothing happens in the North Atlantic without the Navy knowing about it. And the Navy heard this thing implode. But in my mind, Governor, they didn't want to say anything until they knew there was no chance that there was air left in this thing, because they didn't want to say it imploded, and 6 months later, someone goes down and finds it unimploded. So they had to wait. But they already knew. And they just sat there and watched the world go off in a tizzy, and they were just like, Governor, we know. What do you think?
Well, you're absolutely right. So we have this system that's, and we've had this for decades, this system of hydrophones, and like you said, microphones to the layman. They're laid out in secret places all across all of our oceans. So the Atlantic, the Pacific, all over. And the reason why we have this is that our submarines, our nuclear-powered submarines, like you and I served on, Danny, are very sophisticated. And it's amazing what you can hear on sonar. So believe it or not, an incandescent light bulb here in America is what we call 60 cycle. It's flashing on and off at 60 times per second. Well, it's flashing on and off so fast, our eye can't perceive that, so it just looks like a solid light. We can actually hear that tonal in the water. And so we track all these tonals on submarines. But our range is just so many miles, and I can't tell you exactly how many miles it is. So we only have X amount of submarines, so we can't cover the entire ocean. We want to make sure that the bad guy submarine coming from wherever, coming down and sneaking down our coast, we want to be able to detect that guy. So that's why we have these hydrophones, and we have people and computers monitoring this all the time. So when they heard that implosion, they didn't know what it was. The Navy doesn't know that they were out there in research sub. There's all kinds of things all over the ocean going on. And especially this guy, because he wasn't certified to do anything. That craft was not certified with the Coast Guard or any other entity, ocean, nothing. It was completely experimental. And like you and I talked about yesterday, Dan, it would be like my next door neighbor building a helicopter in his backyard and say, hey, Governor, you want to go up with me? I built this thing out of parts from Home Depot. It's like, no, I think I'll pass, Right. But now back to the
that's how silly, now that people are looking at it, just how silly this, like, you got to be kidding me. I mean, you're driving this thing with a video game controller.
Xbox controller.
I mean, it's just crazy.
So now back to the hydrophones, that when the Navy detected this, it's like, okay, that's an anomaly. We heard like an implosion. It could be almost anything. It could have been somebody throwing something over the side of a ship or something that fell off. And as it gets down to implosion, it implodes. And it could have been, just about anything. It could have been a propane tank that somebody accidentally dropped over the side and it was sinking and then collapsed when it got to collapse depth. So they didn't know exactly what it was. And so it's in their file. But then they heard about this submarine's missing, and then they started looking at their data. It's like, oh, this sounds like it came from that spot. So they notified the Central Command, but it's up to them to do what they want with it. But the Central Command that the Coast Guard was running, wisely, they said, okay, noted, that's a possibility. But just like you said, Danny, what if not? Maybe if they are sitting at the bottom, maybe that implosion was something else. And they actually talked about that behind the pressure vessel in that little fairing in the back was a glass dome with some electronics inside there. So they had this glass dome that could have collapsed and caused this explosion noise that they heard. They weren't sure. So they're going to continue looking, but yet they noted that, there was an implosion sound. We're going to continue to look.